We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận thịnh, bi thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Thịnh duyên diệu pháp giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoáng tư ly khổ đạc là tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Thua Su Chê Đô Ye Ở La Hờ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tạc Nạc Tha Tô Ya Đà Ya La Hờ Đi Tam Miao Tam Bồ Đà Tô Ha. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Hu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai qian万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父、上人、各位主持人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Thượng Tiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sư Thích Ca Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 10th of November 2024. We're here at Way Mountain to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. This sutra here is the king of sutras, meaning it contains the most profound teachings in Buddhism, in Mahayana, bar none. No other sutra comes even close to it in terms of depth of the teachings. It was originally taught, some new people here, it was originally taught to the Bodhisattvas. The Buddha, after he became a Buddha, immediately lectured the sutra to the Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are enlightened beings that tells you in Buddhism, we highly revere and worship and appreciate the enlightened beings represented by the Bodhisattvas, because the Bodhisattvas are in a position with their wisdom, their enlightenment, in that will enable them to become Buddhas a lot faster. They're a lot more malleable, if you will. Whereas lower level than Bodhisattvas takes a lot longer, because the rest of us tend to be more obtuse and recalcitrant, not willing to listen. Okay, and so the Buddha, even among the Bodhisattvas, come in many different varieties and different levels of attainment. From low level, 1G, first ground Bodhisattva, to that you go from 1 to 2, 3, 4, and so forth, up to 10, and so forth. Each level, from you go from one level to the next, is extremely, extremely difficult. So among the bodhisattvas, the gap of wisdom, the gap of attainment is huge, it's humongous. From Hinayana attainment to 1G, the first level of enlightenment in Mahayana, is like a huge chasm as well. So you see in Buddhism, the wisdom level is unfathomable. And so even in this sutra here, when the Buddha explained the sutra and a lot of bodhisattvas, mahasattvas came to listen, it's designed to help all the bodhisattvas. Okay? Because how does it help? Because it's not about understanding. These bodhisattvas, low-level bodhisattvas, let's say, when they listen to this sutra, they don't get it. No two ways about it. None of them gets it, okay? And so the help comes in the form of, when you listen to it, you plant the seeds of Vajra in your consciousness, eighth consciousness. That seed there, you carry with you forever until they sprout and blossom into something called enlightenment. Not just any enlightenment. You see, the purpose of this sutra is to help all these bodhisattvas attain all the various levels of enlightenment, higher and higher and higher. So the seeds must be good enough to help them achieve those high levels of enlightenment. So what's happening here is that, what's amazing about this sutra is that only the sound has to go through your ear organ, and that's it. The seeds are planted. You read it, read the text, like on the screen there, okay? The seeds are planted. So you can imagine each lecture here, we go through an hour and a half of lecture, you can imagine the number of Vajra seeds. This is the best seeds possible for everyone, not just bodhisattvas. Okay? And they are planted in you, and they are actually your hidden treasure. This is your real assets. Your real assets is not money, it's not gold, it's not cryptocurrency. Let's not go into that. But it's about these seeds that you carry with you. These wonderful seeds you carry with you lifetime after lifetime until they sprout, until they mature into enlightenment. That's why I'm grateful to all of you who giving me a chance to studying and investigating this with you, because me too, when I do this, I need those seeds too. Okay? So we all benefit from it. So another point of warning, don't try to understand. Your understanding is not that important. Okay? Because it's about if you don't understand, ask a question, because your question will help these seeds mature faster. Okay? You don't understand, it's okay. Eventually you will. Because I read the sutra a long, long time ago, something like 25 years ago. I didn't understand anything. And I was told that I was supposed to read the sutra every single day, if possible. So I read it. I read the sutra because back then my Chinese is very, very bad. It still is pretty bad today, but much better than before. So the only version I had was in Vietnam, okay? By a famous Vietnamese monk, well-respected Vietnamese monk, who translated it into Vietnamese, and it was translation is okay, it's not that great. But he also, like many people, many translators, they who do not understand what they're translating, they tend to leave out things that they feel are not important. Okay, so for example, this monk here left out Sanskrit names or special names that about gods and Dharma protectors and stuff like that. You hear the name. Every time, for example, I say, Medicine Master Buddha, it goes through your ear organs, you have a seed in your consciousness. In the future, you would benefit from that seed. For example, you need help with your illnesses. You need help with your welfare or your well-being and so forth. Okay? So seeds are really, really important. A lot more important than you realize. Okay? And so even though I didn't understand it, it doesn't matter. Now I'm back. So I was reading it every single day. I read the Vietnam version 3 times, from cover to cover. So every day I would, after lunch, in Long Beach Monastery, near Ocean Avenue there in Long Beach, Master YongHua has a beautiful temple there. And after lunch, I would walk around the Buddha Hall. The Buddha Hall is about twice as big as this, I would say. But just this size here, so twice this size. So about the same size as our Buddha Hall. So I would walk around there for half an hour, okay, by form of digestion, and would read the sutra. So I was able to do it 3 times, cover to cover, which was wonderful. It's nice. You read it, and every day at lunch, after lunch, I was looking forward to it. Somehow, it pulls you in. The text, it pulls you in. Just follow the text. It's so cool. Okay, so this sutra here is very, very powerful. Okay, and those seeds, now, some of the seeds manifested in the form of I'm able to reinvestigate it again, explain it to you again, and study more about it. Okay? All right. So feel free to ask questions. Don't try to understand too much. This is our style of speaking Dharma. We only give you the minimal Buddhist jargon for your reference. These are like your foundation of wisdom, language of wisdom. Buddhist jargon is language of wisdom, by the way. So you learn these jargons, you will find them again wherever you go. Next, in the future, these minimum set of Buddhist terms, wherever you go to a different galaxy and so forth, you encounter Buddhism again, okay? You have the foundation for that. Okay, that's the main thing, okay? All right, we are also finally on slide 759. It's in the verse this is in the section where it describes the world rulers at the heavens level of the suns. Okay, the Avatamsaka Sutra. As you go through it, you see the structure of the universe as the Buddha describes it for his bodhisattvas, so that they know where to go and roam around, have fun. See, fun for us is, for me, I'd love to fly to Paris and have some baguette and French cheese. That would make me so happy. I love French bread and French cheese. So that's my idea of fun. Whereas these Mahasattvas, they hear about this world and say, wow, I'd like to go there someday. You see? That's the difference in fun. So, all right, so these world rulers also tells you that the world is very, very well structured. It's not as haphazard as you think. These world rulers are actually Mahasattvas. Mahasattvas are very high-level bodhisattvas. These are close to being Buddhas already. They're that high. And so they came back to the world. Part of their training is to engage into the world affairs, worldly affairs, and help the world. So their job is to help their domain, Okay, the world here and the heavens are at the level of the sun's level. All the heavens there, okay, the sun, the heavens of the sun level are ruled by these world rulers. So they're very, very important. Okay, and they have tremendous wisdom. Even with the wisdom, in order to speak these verses, they still need the Buddha's help. And this is in Buddhism. We have a lot of help, all of us. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas receive, the Bodhisattvas in particular receive a lot of help from a Buddha. They're like shoving, pushing the Bodhisattvas along, okay, to make sure they become Buddhas. Okay? All right, let's go into the text. Feel free to ask any questions. Again, it's not about understanding, just listen. If something piques your interest, ask, okay? Pure and pervasive as space is his radiance, jewel moon knows his skill in means.
光明遍尽如虚空，宝月能知此方便。
Okay, 760. Okay, this jewel moon is a world ruler in one of those worlds. Okay, he uses his eyes, his spiritual eye. The spiritual eyes are different from our regular eyes. Okay, our regular eyes are eyes that are very limited in functionality. The spiritual eyes, they can see very far into the universe. So, aided by the Buddha's help, he's able to see that the Buddha emits light. Okay, here's what happens. Buddhas emit light when they want to help someone. Okay, and so that's why even this Mahasattva called Jewel Moon, okay, he cannot even see it unless the Buddha helps him. And this is in Buddhism. They're not out there to impress us. They're not like a Buddha is not like the statue behind me where the Buddha always emits lights and, blazing light and everyone's so impressed. No, the light is only for a purpose. It's never to impress. Okay? But so this jewel moon here looked at the Buddha, and he saw that the Buddha emits his light here, that is pure light, okay? Pure light here, that whatever pure means, okay, whatever it means to you, but this is what he felt. This light is so pure, okay? Because when this jewel moon, Mahasattva, saw the light that pervades, okay, the entire space, okay? Everywhere he sees is light, okay? That's even brighter than the sunlight. That's how he could tell. So he felt it was pure. Why is it pure? And it's pervasive, meaning it's everywhere. Okay, why does he feel? What does it mean pure? There's so much to discuss. I don't need to discuss everything. So every now and then I remember, I tell you, I ask you. Otherwise, we run out of time. We'll probably spend 10 years discussing one chapter. Why is it pure? Anyone? Oh, Abbott, why is it pure light? What time is it in Korea? 4 a.m. They're not quite awake yet, I don't think. 5, 6, okay. Why is it pure? They always struggle with sound over there, every single time. Why is that? It seems like we never learn at Jewel Mountain Temple, AV. Never mind. Anyone? Master Z, why is it pure? You know where we're going. Start looking, checking, looking it up online. Why is it pure?
Master, I think it's pure because it has no attachment.
It has no attachment. Okay. Next. Why is it pure? Yes, 7. You saving your habit? Go ahead, 7.
Free from thought.
Free from thought. Not bad. Why is it pure? Patricia.
No self, no ego.
No self, no evil. Okay. Last habit. Why is it pure? Okay. Go back to first habit. Why is it pure? I need to check them because they're going to be lecturing one of these days. Someone's going to ask them.
Ở dưới Đạo Phật xin thầy hỏi lại cái câu hỏi này.
Why is the light? It says here on slide 760, it says the radiance of the Buddha is pure. Why is it pure?
Thanh tịnh bởi vì giống như cái tánh chân không nó không có cái gì trong đó hết, nó không có cái ô nhiễm nào ở trong đó, nó chỉ là một cái giống như cái tánh chân không của如Lai, của chư Phật đó. Không có cái ngã nhân, có cái gì trong đó.
Okay. Anyone? I'll leave it open now to the rest of you. Lower level people. Yes, 5. Why is it pure?
Thank you, Master. I was thinking that it would have to be very pure because he's helping bodhisattvas who are already pure. I guess maybe they have slight habit energies. His light has to be pure enough in order to help bodhisattvas and everyone else.
Here is a Mahasattva by the name of Jewel Moon. You're right, he's pure already. Why does he look at the Buddha? He says, wow, the light is pure. Why? I know we since chapter 1, we've been discussing chapter 1 for almost 2 years now, and we keep on hearing the word pure, pure, pure. No one ever asked me, why? Why does it say pure? And we don't see it as pure. Remember, these Mahasattvas are pure already. Yes, go for us. No? Backed out? Okay, go for us, chickened out. You give up? This jewel moon, Mahasattva, okay? All of a sudden he sees the light of the Buddha everywhere. Okay, that's pervasive. Okay, everywhere he look, oh, the light is everywhere. Okay, nothing can stop the light. Okay, and was there a question, a comment? Go ahead, JC.
그 빛은 바라는 것이 없기 때문일 것 같습니다.
I believe there's nothing that wanted.
Good idea. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. Diego says, Emitofuo, Master, it's pure because it's for benefiting all living beings.
You are getting closer and closer. Yeah. Anyone else? You want to give up? Can't find it on ChatGPT, internet, nowhere. Guarantee you cannot find it. That's why I urge you to look it up. You don't understand the context. Okay? These Mahasattvas are superior beings. No two ways about it. Okay? And when they looked at the Buddhas, they're so pure already. Okay, they're extremely pure. That's why they're Mahasattvas. But when this Mahasattva jewel moon realized that, oh, the Buddha's radiance is pervasive, it's so pure, it's so beautiful. Actually, he didn't say beautiful, but pure to him is very beautiful. To you, it's not beautiful, but to him, it's, oh, wow, this is something else. Okay, fascinating. Yes, go Forrest. You keep interrupting me, I forget.
Sorry, Master. Is that because the pure light from Buddha can help the Mahasattvas?
Very good, exactly. They're so pure already. You see, I'm prepping you. I'm leading you on to the point. They're so pure already. Nothing can excite them. Okay? Nothing excites a Mahasattva. Nothing can excite them. And yet, when this Mahasattva saw the light of the Buddha, said, wow, how can he be impressed? Because his mind is even more at peace. He sees like, it's like that. You know the feeling? He let go. The pure light means that it helps you let go of your attachments. So he's talking about himself. Okay, boys and girls, he knows if we cannot see what he sees. I said, you know what? What I'm seeing here is pure because it helped me. You understand? The Buddha is teaching them. They're not teaching us. We're only secondary. Don't think so highly of yourself. We're not that important. Okay, we like I used to learn Dharma from Master YongHua. They taught each other. I sat on the side and watched and listened in. That's all. Okay, it taught me a lesson of humility. They only teach each other. I was lucky to be able to witness it. All right? So it's pure because it purifies him. It helps him. The light of the Buddha helps him let go of his attachments. Because of that, he became even more peaceful. Is that clear? That the Buddha is speaking Dharma. Do you understand? I have to use sound and words to talk to you. The Buddha, when he speaks Dharma to the Mahasattva, he sends a light. The Mahasattva, oh yeah. And that's levels. You're not impressed. It's okay. Who cares to impress you? Hopeless for you. Okay, got that? All right. Next. Unobstructed, the Buddha's concert of wonderful sounds pervades all lands of the 10 directions.
佛眼妙音无障碍，普遍十方诸国度。
Yeah, they take a lot of liberties to use these translations. 无障碍. Okay. What it's saying here on 762, the commentary slide, is that the concept of the Buddha's sound. The Buddha, when he teaches living beings, he uses a sound here in the Saha world. Okay? In our Saha world, when things are taught to us, the best means is to use sound. Okay? I'm glad you're here. I will talk to you about something else that just came to mind. Yeah, it's about long-distance relationships. Okay? If you're interested, you may say, I'm not interested, I will not go there. It's your choice. Okay? Up to you. Anyway, I just look at him. Oh yeah, long-distance relationships. Okay, so in our world, okay, the best way to transform, to teach people, to help people is use sound. Okay? Our ear organs is the best way to activate our seeds of wisdom, by the way. You have a lot of seeds of wisdom again in your consciousness already, so they can be activated by the sound. Or you can add to more seeds, okay? Or the old seeds can be activated by sounds. This is why Buddhas and Bodhisattvas lecture and speak Dharma for us. Is it clear? So then when the Buddha speaks sound, he uses sound to teach living beings. He has to teach Koreans, he has to teach Vietnam people, he has to teach Chinese people, he has to teach all sorts of peoples, okay? But he only speaks one sound, okay? And this sound here, okay, one sound he speaks, okay? But somehow you hear it in your own language. Isn't that cool? How is it possible? Today I'm lazy. I don't want to go too far. I stayed up until 4 last night, and people text me at 4:30 in the morning complaining I didn't get in the 6:30. So anyway, so I'm lazy. I don't feel very ambitious today. So we slow down. We go into details. So why? How is it possible? How is it he spoke? At the time, for example, Buddha, it was India, Shakyamuni Buddha was India, so he spoke in Hindu, whatever. Is it Hindi or Hindu? One of those. Hindi, thank you very much. Hindi. And somehow, people, I'm sure there were Chinese people there, Chinese merchants there, listening, and so on. And they somehow they understood it in Chinese, okay? And there are aliens coming from Western Blissfield land who speak a different language. They would understand their own language. How is it possible? Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. Is it because when the Buddha spoke, he was speaking to everyone's true nature?
True nature, yeah. Anyone else? Does he jumps around like that all day? Amazing, these kids. I can hardly get up and look at him, he's jumping. It's so cool. That's the difference between youth and old age. Yeah? So how is it possible? Yes. 1.
Dạ, kính thưa Thầy. Con có nghe trong một cái bài kinh là có cái câu là Thế Tôn chỉ diễn một âm thanh, nhưng mà hữu tình mỗi người đều được hưởng cái lợi đó. Con nghĩ là do cái sự công đức và trang nghiêm thanh tịnh của Ngài làm cho khi mà chúng sanh nhìn được cái, mình nói giống như là cái tướng hảo, những cái nói chung là cái sự từ bi của Ngài nó phát sáng ra cái sự trang nghiêm thanh tịnh, cho nên tất cả chúng sanh đều hiểu bằng cái tâm, cái tâm, dạ, bằng cái tâm. A Di Đà Phật. Dạ.
Emitofuo Master, so the previous lecture I've heard somewhere saying that the Buddha only used one sound and all sentient beings are all benefit from those. I think maybe it's because of the merit and virtue and the adornment of the Buddha caused living beings to have that way, or maybe that his excellent hallmark, his kindness and compassion radiates the adorned, pure light that living being can understand by their mind.
Just picture this in your mind. The Buddha was speaking Dharma to countless Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arhats, and Pratyeka Buddhas, all sorts of people, so many of them. Did he have a microphone or speakers? No. So how is it possible? Yes, 6. And then There's no computer do a simultaneous translation like ChatGPT or something, you know. It will be ages before they can do a simultaneous translation. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. Diego says, Emitofuo, Master, when the Buddha speaks, he speaks directly to your mind, and your mind then translates it to your own language.
That's correct. I explained this already once, okay? Diego has a great memory. I think he absorbs everything I say. He's like a robot. You said, on that day you said. What happened is that the only way that he can speak in so many languages directly to us is not because of through his spiritual penetrations, of course, but he speaks directly to our mind, and our mind understands our own language. Okay, here's what happens to our communications, and this will be something that the scientists will never be able to get to. Okay, the first is mind-to-mind communication. Okay, they communicate from mind to mind. And then our mind understands it, and then it has a layer of language. Okay, so if you are born here, your layer would be English, Vietnam, Korean, and so forth. Okay, so if you use the outer layers, then you need translation. If you use inner layers, you don't need translation at all. It's much more efficient. Okay, it's just mind-to-mind communications, and and of course his power as well make it appear like, oh, I'm hearing with my ears, even though you understand the mind, but the ear appears to you like you hear it with your own ears. Isn't that cool? That's a Buddha's power. That kind of technology, it'll never happen in our world, in our species. Okay? And because of that, it's unobstructed. Nothing can obstruct the Buddha. Because it's mind to mind. Okay? There's no need. There's no restriction on the distance. Okay? He says, here, I want to talk to you over there. They receive it. All right, pervades all lands of 10 directions. This is expression, you hear it all the time. This is the range of the Buddhist teachings, sir. Okay, meaning that it applies to the Buddhist principles, the Buddhist knowledge you're acquiring, holds true for all the principles, hold true for all over the universe. For example, you learn Buddhism is known for one very important principle, which is cause and effect. That is universally true. Everywhere you go, it's always cause and effect. All right. You want me to go into a long-distance relationship or not? Yeah? I see a lot of people nodding like the rocks are nodding. Okay. It's brought to my attention recently because I bring it up here during a lecture to express my appreciation for the caring and the compassion of our people. That is nowadays there are a lot of long distance relationships, in particular online, and it's not surprising that many of our people fell prey to online scams. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad, that all of them are bad, but I just want to simply point out to all of you, okay, it's going to happen to all of us, in particular old farts like me. I mean, they actually prey on old people like us, okay? And how do they prey on us? Love. What else? I love you. I adore you. And it's fine. Love me all you want. But I can love you and back and forth, that's fine. That's a good long distance relationship until you're trying to get money out of me, then it's a scam. Be careful. Only words. That's what we do to women. Sweet nothings are meaningless and they fall for it all the time. In history of mankind. Yeah? MJ? You heard of that story from your clients? Oh, at first he was so wonderful. Yeah, I love him, he'd do anything for me. And then he has 5.
And Master, the biggest scams are older men.
Yes.
Who are lonely.
Yes.
And needing that contact.
Or wait, it's not older men, older women as well.
Yes.
Lonely women. It's not restricted by age.
I've worked mostly with the men that have come in.
No, I heard of so many women too, by the way. Lots of older women are scammed. Even though when they're married, the husband is in the next room, they are on the internet typing away their Nigerian lover who says he's from, Philippines or somewhere. We don't know, okay? It's not until you see them face to face. Yeah, so if I were any of you, I say, if you really love me, this is wonderful, we have such a good time, why don't you hop on an airplane over here for me to take a look at you? And rule number 2, if they ask for money, let me help you invest your money. Help me this, help me get this, help me get that. Help me send $500 for my friend who's stuck somewhere in the Arizona desert, okay, and so forth. Okay, they have so many excuses to appeal to your kind heart. Okay, doesn't matter. They are so good at it. Bottom line, okay, for me, okay, I let my disciple keep all the money. I don't have any money, so I'm safe. When they ask me for money, I say, oh yeah, I love to send you money, but I don't have any. Look at my bank account, it's 0. Hello, honey. Okay, so if you really love me, you have to love me. Love a man who has no money. By the way, you don't feel save your money, park it at the temple? Never mind, it's another scam. So be careful, okay, people. I hear it so often nowadays. It's so, and not just you, so many happening to so many people over the years. It always ends up with whatever they tell you, it's fun and so forth, and the telltale sign always goes back to you having to send money into the void. Okay? And that's why if you plan to do that, send it to the temple first. Hello. Okay? Thank you, everyone. 763. With the flavor of Dharma, he benefits all creatures. Courage knows this expedient device.
以法滋味益群生，勇猛能知此方便。
Okay. Commentary. He benefits all creatures. He doesn't discriminate. Okay? So that's why I want you to see how the Spirit is. If we have a chance to benefit others, we love to do it. Okay? And so that's a mindset. Don't just limit yourself to your own kind. Vietnam people, Korean. I'm Korean first. I met with this Bodhisattva in Korea, and I said, what is the best place for you? He's enlightened. What is the best place for you that you've been travel? He traveled a lot. So what's the best place for you? What's your favorite place? And his first answer immediately is that I'm Korean. Therefore, the best place for me is in Korea. Okay? And that's very limited. You see, even enlightened people still have those habit energies. I'm Korean. I benefit my people first. And because of that, you start with that. Okay? Your wisdom is limited to benefiting Koreans only. You don't deserve to get help for more. Don't make them that mistake. He benefits all living beings. Okay? You should too. They can think all they want. People have accused me when I go up north. People accuse me, Master, you're not even Vietnamese anymore. Damn right. You Vietnam person. Okay? Are you Vietnamese or not? No, I'm not. I benefit all creatures. Is my stand. Mm-hmm. Not just MAGA. You hear? Next week, you tune in again. I will change my tune again. I go up north, I become MAGA. Down here, I benefit all creatures. Okay? And so, how does it benefit them? With the flavor of Dharma. Isn't that interesting? What are you reading here? The flavor of Dharma, meaning the Dharma he speaks, the things he's explained to his students, is flavorful. It's not like, today I'm in Samadhi and I want to speak to you in Samadhi. Okay, I speak to you in a benevolent, Lionel Richie voice. No Abba, dancing queen. Okay, no, the Dharma has many, many flavors. Why? Because he makes the Dharma attractive and appealing to all creatures. So it's referring to the fact you must be flexible enough and open-minded enough so that you learn how to provide more flavors to the Dharma that you speak. Does it help? You say, what does it have to do with me? Think about your wife. You go home. Give your wife more flavors. It's very practical. You think this is for somewhere else? No, it's for us. Huh? You want to benefit someone you really care for? Make it flavorful. Don't be so sterile and so serious. So one-dimensional. All right? And that's the form of expedience, meaning they use various means, okay? The skills and the wisdom to know how to make it more flavorful to people. All sorts of people, all sorts of beings. You see? And that therein lies the fun of the work. And today we deal with you Democrats. Next time I go up north, I deal with Republicans, and so forth. I'm becoming multi-dimensional. Today I talk about online things. Yeah. See, it's fun. Who says that cultivation is boring? Yeah? Okay, next. 765. He releases an inconceivable net of light, universally purifying all sentient beings.
放光明网不思议，普净一切诸含识。
Okay, and let's go through this next one. Inspiring profound faith and understanding in everyone. The God flower garlands enters its door.
悉使发生生信解，此华因天所入门。
You see, Buddhas do things for a purpose. They don't ever waste time. They don't ever waste energy. Okay? So, first of all, this God here, whatever is God here, flower garlands, okay? He sees that the Buddha released an inconceivable net of light. So this light here, not casual, but actually it's like a net of light. No one can escape it. That's why it's called net of light. It captures everyone. It's like when you try to catch a wild sanglier, that's French for boar, yeah? A wild boar, okay? One of the better ways is use a net and throw it over the boar, and then, the boar will trip in the net. Okay, so the net here is should inspire you, should evoke this image, create image in your head that this net here is that it works on everyone. No one can escape it. Okay? And what does it do when this light here, this net of light here, shines upon us? It purifies all sentient beings. It purifies all sentient beings, meaning that reduces their ickiness. Okay? It doesn't mean here, it doesn't sound like now all of a sudden they're pure. No, it's not that simple. That's how I first read these things. I said, purifying me. I said, wow, this is so nice. I wish Buddha's light would shine upon me. Okay? So that I don't have to cultivate. It's just he shines, the light shines, a net of light shines on you, and it purifies me or purifies you. So what's there to cultivate? Yeah? No one ever explained me that. Okay, wishful thinking. So it purifies living sentient beings. Okay, so it makes them more relaxed. Purifying here very practical. We're not talking bodhisattva. I'm explaining to you. None of you really are good bodhisattva. So when this net of light shines upon you, you meet with this net of light, it purifies you. It means that all of a sudden you become less worried, less tense, more relaxed, more receptive, more open-minded. Is that clear? Okay? And for what purpose? To give you something that's very, very important, that even Mahasattvas still need, which is profound faith and understanding. Does it help? Now do you understand why this sutra also applies to us? Mahasattvas, bodhisattvas, still need more profound faith and understanding, not just us. And so this is the prized currency. Okay? Next would be cryptocurrency, would be Bitcoin, I'm told. Okay. So the highly prized currency in Buddhism, especially for bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, is profound faith and understanding. Why do Mahasattvas, Bodhisattvas still need profound faith and understanding? Because there is so much that Buddhas cannot even explain to them. They don't get it. Get it? They don't get it. Buddha can explain to them all they want. They cannot get it. Shh. Don't quote me, okay? It's not a criticism of Bodhisattvas and Mahasattvas. This is a fact. This is limitation. There's so much they can understand. There's so much it can absorb. They have run to a limit, and therefore they need more profound faith and more understanding. Isn't it interesting? Don't ever assume that you know everything. We all have limitations. You're so sure you know, and you say, I don't believe until I see it, until I have proof, and so forth. You think the Bodhisattva and Mahasattvas do that? They said, no. Why do Buddhas need to prove anything to me? Why? Why would they need to prove anything to me? They do me a favor. Why do we need to prove anything to me? If they would need to prove anything to me, then aren't they seeking for my belief, for something from me? And Buddhas don't do that. Buddhas don't need anything from us. Nothing whatsoever. Right? It's you who needs stuff. Buddhas don't need anything. They have everything already, supposedly. What happened to Daniel? Daniel is asleep already? Hello. Except for Buddhas and God, right? Daniel, God has everything too? Not true. God doesn't have Buddhists. Never mind, we spare him today. I'm not here to pick a fight with Catholics. Okay, and so, interesting? I want to point this out to you. Okay? Message is, don't be so sure of yourself. Because these Mahasattvas, they know so much. They have so much wisdom. They said, there's still so many things I don't understand. Understanding, it says, tells you that profound understanding, it tells you that there's so many things they still don't understand. And the only way for them to get there is through more faith. What does it have to do with us? Don't worry about others. They always say, I have a PhD, I'm a doctorate, I'm a postdoctorate and so forth, I'm smarter than you. Good for you. Okay? But if you lack faith and understanding, I develop my faith, my understanding, one day I will surpass you. Is that clear? What kind of faith? What is faith? I know Daniel has his own ideas of faith. Daniel, would you care to tell us what faith is, please? Give him a microphone. I'm drawing him in because I know when I draw him in, it's going to take at least half an hour to untangle this.
Well, for me, faith is the belief of God without questioning, and to fully follow Him.
Follow Him. Have faith in God. Okay? And have you met God?
No. but it's everywhere. I could feel it.
You could feel everywhere. Okay? Hopeless. Anyone else? Why? What kind of faith are we talking about? Yes, 7.
Faith in the Pure Land.
Faith in the Pure Land. Where is the Pure Land? I'm going to play the devil's advocate because I know Daniel is jumping about. Ooh, can I ask you a question? You asked me a question about my God. You asked me about, can you see your God? And he's gonna and South Carolina, what would be the answer? I feel it everywhere.
I feel it everywhere too, but if there's negative, if there's bad vibe, then God is far from that energy right there.
That's not attack God, okay. He's a good person.
But said Pure Land because this is the impure land.
Because what?
Because we're in the impure, we're in the Sangha world.
I don't get it.
So faith in the Pure Land would be to counter the Sangha world.
Counter the Sangha world. Ah, okay. Faith in the Pure Land. Anyone else? What kind of faith are we talking about? Why faith? It's so clear, but it's not spelled out for you. I set it up for you already. It should be clear, but since you're not quite there yet, so that's why I know you don't quite get what faith we're talking about. Yes, 9.
The beginning of the quote, inspiring profound faith and understanding in everyone. I suppose it could also mean in understanding everyone and everything, which means that's kind of an opening for people that came from this age of Buddhism to have faith in a time when there's going to be uncertainty and change. And I'm talking about having to consider a Buddhist's place in a scientific world, whereas back then there was very little known about science. But yet this is keeping an open mind and having faith that you'll be able to figure it out if you follow Buddha.
You are making me more confused. Anyone else? Yes, 6.
Emitofuo, Master. I think faith in the Buddha Dharma, in the teaching of the Buddha, and in almost everything that came from the Buddhas, even we can't prove it to the people.
You're no fun. Go back to Mexico. Jesus Christ, I was hoping for another 25 minutes. You're not helping. Cut it out. Here's the situation. Remember, these are Mahasattvas, okay? And they need more faith and more understanding, right? Okay. So what is he talking about? Faith in what? He's talking about his guy here, God, flower garlands. He's talking about faith in the Buddha. That's the most important thing for these Mahasattvas. They go there personally. They fly in from all over the universe to hear the Buddha, okay? To look at the Buddha, to hear the Buddha's Dharma talks, okay? And in doing that, because they look at themselves as direct disciples of the Buddha. No one else can teach them, by the way. No one else. At their level, next level is Buddha. Nowhere else. So the only kind of help they could get they can get is from the Buddhas. Therefore, it's very clear for these people, the only possible help they can get is from the Buddha. And in order to get the help from the Buddha, what do they need to have? More faith in the Buddha. Isn't it fascinating? For us in the intellectual world, does that apply to us? He said, you get a PhD, you get a postdoctorate degrees, studies, and then you say, who do you have faith on now? Faith in now? No one. You need to have faith in yourself. Agree? That's a limitation. You have faith in yourself. You're limited to yourself. Aren't you? Because you are limited. Yes, you believe, you choose to limit yourself. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. There's a question here from Houseman. Emitofuo, Master, when one is pure, he is able to get rid of attachments easily. But is it correct that in order to become pure, he has to get rid of attachments first? Is it like a feedback process?
No. How do you get rid of attachments? Two ways. Okay? One way, I have to pick one. I'm attached to this. How do I get rid of my attachment to this? First thing I need to do is drop it. See, that's why I have to choose it. I used to pick this, but you know how expensive it is nowadays. Especially now the tariffs are going to be raised very soon. See? This is fundamental to cultivation. Do you want to cultivate? We tell you, get rid of your attachment. First thing you need to do, very real. If you attach to this, you have to drop this first. You cannot talk. You have to drop it. Agree or disagree? You say, oh, this is not important to me. I hold it, but actually it doesn't matter to me, if I have it or not. Seriously? That's what Mary Jo's patients tell her constantly. And that's why she said, come back, see me again next week. We talk some more. Oh, you sneaky woman. Okay? For us, Buddhism is very, very practical. You talk about detaching, you better drop it for me first, and I believe you. If not, you only talk. Okay? Same thing. Long distance relationship. You talk about loving me, come and see me, honey. And don't ask me for money. I ain't sending money. And then you can have all the fun you want. And they drop you if they're a scam. Got that? So the two ways only. Number one is that I have it. This is the first test. If I want to detach, we all have things, right? We have this, we have money, and so forth. First thing you need to prove to yourself, if you're pure, is that can you drop it? Can you let go? Right here. Okay? Can you let go of your wife? Okay? Don't talk about it. Show me. Drop it. That's the first thing. Okay? So you're talking about the way to let go is I'm teaching you. This is because you ask real good questions. First rule of thumb is that don't believe them. They say, oh, I'm pure, I'm not detached. You just have them prove to you one thing that's important to them only. Okay? Show me. My test here is, anyone has a $100 bill? No, huh? No. No! No one falls for it anymore. It's an old trick. Okay? So you have to let go. Okay? If you can't even let go here, you all talk. Okay? If you can do this, then you can go and graduate to a broad class. Okay? If you, for example, you are able to let go a $100 bill, what's the next test? Give me a wallet. After you give me a wallet, how about a checkbook? Okay? So it gets bigger and bigger. You get the point? So you have either you learn to drop individual things, that's the first test to yourself, and number two, you need to drop the whole class. No one taught you that before. That's what I did. I said, this is too slow for me. If I'm going to drop one mouse, I have 10 mouses, I have to do it 10 times? No, I drop all the mouses. I drop all computers. I drop all hair. Does it help? Okay. Another 15 minutes. Jesus, you guys are tough today. Okay, so the light, even the Mahasattvas still need to increase their faith. Okay, and with the faith, they'll be able to increase their understanding. It's not notice the order. Okay, the order is faith will bring on understanding. Okay, so far so good. So going back to my point, these Mahasattvas have to increase their faith in the Buddha, no one else. They know that. Okay? How about you? See, two levels. They are enlightened. We're not enlightened. We're not Mahasattvas. But this teaching applies to us as well. And this is a Buddhist thing, not Catholic. This is what makes a difference between Buddhism and Catholicism. Okay? Here's what happens. These Mahasattvas, this is so beautiful. I want you to appreciate the ingenuity of Buddhist teachings. Buddha taught these Mahasattvas first. These are extremely wise people. It's very difficult to con them. Okay? You cannot scam them, forget it. Okay, look at you, you're trying to scam me. Okay? So they are stating that they realize that they need to have more faith in the Buddha in order to become a Buddha themselves. All right? And then you know what happened? Look at the structure of Buddhism. We have the Sangha who are supposedly representatives of the enlightened beings. That's the next level. You don't get to see the Buddha, let's face it. Maybe Daniel gets to see his God. Okay? But we don't get to see Buddhas. Buddhas have no time for us until we die. And then he comes, Amitabha Buddha comes and brings South Carolina back. That's the only time you see him in person. Get it? No point in bragging about it, dreaming about it. He's not going to go. He's not going to show up until you die. Okay, let's face it. So anyway, Mahasattvas get to see the Buddhas, and these are enlightened beings, extremely high-level wisdom. That's why they deserve to get the Buddha's time directly and ask him questions directly. See? Q&A with the Buddha. Notice that. They get there and they get to ask the Buddhas. Okay? It's not recorded, by the way, because they sit there and Buddha says, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. And in the audience, the Mahasattvas said, I don't get it, Buddha. What do you mean by that? And the Buddha was speaking to him while speaking Dharma to the rest of us as well. That's what goes on. You get it? Mahasattvas have a lot of questions too, trust me. And they get to ask the Buddha. That's why they show up. They don't talk about it in the sutras, by the way. Shh, this is state secret, top secret information. Okay? So that's why they realize, oh wow, I still don't understand this Buddhist teaching. That's why understanding is. You got that? And then I said, so therefore I said, this, because they're taught by the Buddha, they increase their understanding, then therefore the faith of the Buddha increases. You say, wow, my time is not wasted. Happens to Mahasattvas too. Got that? And then us, what does it have to do with us? Buddha understands it's the same process. He says, these buggers, okay, these living beings, it's a polite term for losers. Okay? They don't get it. But Buddha says, they don't get to talk to me. Okay? So the Buddha send their disciples to us. And they join the Sangha, and that's why the Sangha are supposedly representatives, enlightened representatives of the best of the Buddha's disciples. They're not Buddhas, but they're only there to help us interpret the Buddhist teachings. And therefore, the Sangha are enlightened representatives. The real Sangha is the one that are enlightened beings. They're Mahasattvas and so forth, and Bodhisattvas and so forth. And of course, there are people like me who are totally confused and depend on their help. Okay? And so you have the system where the Mahasattvas get to see the Buddha, and therefore they increase their faith, increase their understanding, and say, well, I need more and more and more before I can become a Buddha. Okay? And us down here, how do we get ahead in that world? By having more profound faith and understanding. Right? Same principle. What faith? Yes, Herman.
Master, do they communicate with the mind-to-mind communication, telepathy?
Get out of here. It's for Mahasattvas. We are not at that level. We need to open our mouth and translation, dictionaries. What kind of faith do we need to have? Yes. 6.
Emitofuo, Master, I think as we can see the Buddhas, so we have to have faith in the Dharma through our direct bosses. That means, like for example, our good knowing advisor. In that case, Venerable Master YongHua.
Go back to Mexico. I told you already. Jesus. Go. You don't need to cultivate anymore. Troublemaker. Same rationale. Okay? The Sangha is supposed to teach you the Dharma. Right? And therefore, you cannot get ahead unless you have faith in the Sangha, not just any Sangha, in the person, your teacher, your good knowing advisor. However, there's a catch. Because faith, remember, the structure in Buddhism, Mahasattvas has to see the Buddha to then be able to increase their faith and understanding. You see how it works? They need to see the Buddha. It's not like Daniel said, God is everywhere, I feel him. That's what we call in Buddhism delusion. or in AI, hallucination. Okay? It doesn't work like that with us. And that's blind faith. It's superstition. Doesn't work. Too much of it in Buddhism already. Okay? They say, trust me. No, we don't trust you. You should not trust people at all, especially you're old. and so Mahasattvas need to see Buddhas in person to increase their faith. Yeah? The proper faith. Same thing with us. We need to see, I needed to see Master YongHua, okay, to have faith. Okay? In my case, not faith in him, but faith in his Dharma. I never trusted the guy. He's one, he says yes to her and then no to him. I said, why do you discriminate? Okay. So when I studied Master YongHua, honestly, I didn't really take what he said literally. I only took his Dharma, his way of practice, literally, not what he says. So I have faith in his Dharma, yes. Okay? But here, my point is still the same. You have to see that person to be able to see the faith. You cannot, if you say, oh, I feel it, hallelujah, the rest of the world will have a hard time buying into it. I have a hard time buying into it. Even I saw Master YongHua, I didn't believe everything he says either. Okay, because in Buddhism, they use too many expedients. Sometimes they say yes to you, sometimes they say no to you. You never can tell. It's not about understanding, it's about what you do at that moment to break through. Then you understand. You understand? Never mind. Okay, so that's what happens. In Buddhism, this very, very well-structured way of relaying teachings and developing wisdom, okay, and developing faith. You need to see someone with your own eyes, listen with your own ears. That's how true faith is developed. It cannot be, I feel, I sense it, I hear it, I believe. That doesn't work. Okay? Because those people I hear, I believe, and so forth, they run into a bad experience, they drop the faith. Okay? And so that's why the beauty of the Sangha is that there are Sanghas who are not enlightened, they're tasked, and they're important. They're tasked with taking care of people who need hand-holding. Okay? Don't explain to me too much. Don't tell me too much. All I need you to do is do ceremony for me. I can only come to the temple 1 hour, 2 hours a week, maybe on Sunday morning, and that's it. That's all I can do for you. The rest of the time, I need to take care of my life, take care of my family. Okay? The Sangha needs to take care of those people. We know that. And so those people have faith in who? Those Sanghas. That's very important. Do you understand my point? You get my point? They develop faith for these people. All they can have faith for is the people they see and hear. That's why those Sanghas are important to us. Not all Sanghas need to be enlightened. Do you hear me? This is why the Sangha in Buddhism is so beautiful structure. It has Sanghas who are greedy for money, greedy for fame or profit and so forth. They need to take care of these people. That's because they speak the same language. And they have faith. They need to have faith in these Sanghas. That's how they progress. Make progress. Don't judge the Sanghas. Just because they're not in line doesn't mean they're not important. They're very important. You still here? You don't listen, do you? Okay. So I'm kidding. Don't be so sensitive. Okay? Do you see the Sangha? You see how beautiful the structure is? The Buddha understands. He says, because I labor for so long. I said, why do we have so many, most of our Sanghas are unenlightened? And they're so confused. And one of my Master Shua disciples says, the reason is that, like the Vietnam people like to say, you see my hand, see my fingers, they all are different lengths. And therefore you need all of them. A thumb for this, a pinky for this for, for the ring, and so forth. Okay? You need all the 5 fingers. It is so true. Thinking back, it's so true, because we need those Sanghas to handhold these people. We cannot take care of them. They're very important, folks. That's all the faith they can muster this lifetime. It's okay. It's very good. It's the right direction. Because they believe in these people, and these people do good. Hopefully they'll do the right things, and they move up. These people will follow them. They graduate together as a group. So the Sangha is very useful. The Sangha is very useful. Everyone who is a Sangha is serving a very important purpose. As long as it should be clear in your head, you may be confused, but ultimately, at the end of the day, you ask yourself, do I try to benefit myself more or the people who believe in me more? That's all. That's all one rule for me. Okay? Do you put yourself before others, then I would throw you out. You're no good. Because you can't graduate. You can't help your people. You're sinking and you're pulling your disciples down with you. That's no good. But if you're trying to benefit them, okay, your best abilities, then we can help you. Because if you do have the right mindset, you graduate, you will improve, and you bring everyone with you. Nothing wrong with it. Your disciples should follow you. Nothing wrong with it. Stay over there. Don't come over here. It's not for you. Stick with them. Nothing wrong. Get it? That's a Sangha for you. It's beautiful. It's ingenious. And that's true understanding of human nature. I stop here today. Thank you, everyone.